Keep doing that. Oh, whatever. Right. Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... Okay, it seems like people have to go soon, so we won't do too much of a tangent this time, just a little bit of a brief intro. Witch Academy, a thing that I actually wanted to look at for quite some time, and I discovered when I was, trying to verify my claim of the longest running Gacha series, and this was one of the series that at the time was viable for, contesting that. It has that season 2 that was, I guess, teased in a Q&A 3 years ago, and no word since. But at the time, I was like, wow, okay, I better, keep an eye on this one. And I saw the briefest part of episode 1, was like, this is actually kind of interesting. Having gone through the first episode, some of that interest is warranted. Some of it didn't quite pay off, or at least not in the way that, or of a caliber that I was expecting. But those things happen sometimes, and ultimately, we didn't quite get to the main piece of something that people expect in a series called Witch Academy. We didn't get to the Witch Academy, and that's what we think is going to happen today. And yes, I know that Bon has in fact stated this in the chat further above. He's also stated he won't be here, unfortunately, because he has hockey soon. So, with time we go on and make to the review part, well, that's why I'm saying that, we'll make sure that that we don't talk for too long. Not like I have any guests attend to make long conversation. Oh God.
Ah. Hello, I made the best. Wow. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So we're reviewing Witch Academy. The beginning was decent of the first episode. Then the middle to end-ish area of it kind of went downhill. So hopefully episode 2 doesn't fall into similar trappings where it's the beginning is decent, but the second half is worse.
I will take a slow second half with a decent ending over a decent start and a slow second half.
Although I do have a feeling this episode has actually potential to at least avoid one trapping being the unnecessary exposition, because the major issue with the first episode was the very unnecessary exposition about we learned about the mother and her dead husband and dead son. Learned about and he learned about how much they cared about each other, even though that was kind of implied before. I feel the exposition before felt unnatural. They were giving exposition purely for the audience's sake, or the characters allegedly knew each other for a while, but didn't know each other for a while somehow. It was weird last time. So I think
the biggest thing that drew me into the original version, the first scene, was the fact that it actually did do a lot of show don't tell, and then it kind of undercut that in all the ways that you've explained. So,
but yeah, so with her being new to the school and probably not knowing much about this specific school at the very least, I think we would.
Other Witch Academies
I think we'll avoid that trapping of her having a conversation that she either should have known about already, or felt unnecessary. I think that trapping would realistically be avoided.
Well, let's see if you're right.
Ideally.
Okay.
I could be proven wrong.
Can I to give Jacob infinite views? How am I supposed to talk to chat and VC? That implies that every single time that Bond talks, it's him from a different time. I'm using the time turner. They're all just chatting at once.
Wow.
Just an infinite mess at some point where suddenly every single version of Bond that's at a different location at the same point in time just goes all
How many Bonds are there? Dang.
Depends how many times you want to use that time turner for mining. That's certainly yeah. Hold on. Wow, 11 years is impressive. Saying 11 years for oh, sorry, you're talking to Bond. Okay, fair enough. All right. without further ado, on with the review. Oh no, hold on. Seems like we're holding on. We're not going to get to the academy just yet. So we've got to hold on.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh no.
What a fantastic start.
Don't prolong the plot. Be like, oh, I can't go into school yet. We gotta wait to the end of this episode for me to go into school. I need to hang out outside of school for a whole episode. Because plot.
Free version of me online. Oh dear. Okay.
How do I enter this place? I don't know. I'm sure there's like a door or something you can take. Although maybe there's not a direct path. So fly? Can you fly?
I mean, based on the path here, it kind of looks like a drawbridge situation. But yeah, maybe this is a witch academy. They might expect people to be able to fly into them. That's the thing in the Worst Witch. Even though they have a front entrance, because obviously it's a TV show, so they have to have a front entrance because they're filming on location.
Sunny Major Rayner asks if we use Restream. Not anymore. Not anymore. It used to.
You know what? Actually, I got an email from Restream recently. That said, like, we would like to test our new feature of custom music, which, fittingly enough, is one of the reasons that I moved to StreamYard, was because they had that and Restream didn't. So they're playing catch up now. They've lost my patronage. Dear.
Oh. Who are you? I don't listen, I'm reading it weird. Anyways, and why don't you have your uniform on? Well,
okay, so that implies I guess, yeah, I would say it's a bit presumptuous that someone outside the Witch Academy would be immediately, therefore, able to join it, but actually, now that I think about it,
although
they're in hiding, so they actually probably don't receive any
actually what so could be sense. But what if she was just like a random non-magic user just hanging out in the area and you go up to her being like, hey, why aren't you wearing your witch uniform? It's like, wait, there are witches around here?
The point is they're supposed to be in a hidden area, so there should be no one else around other than the students.
I mean, yeah, but does everyone wear the uniform 24/7? She may be going out for a stroll, man.
Well, she's about to go inside, so she's coming back from said stroll, but yeah. Jacob, please come back. We miss you. You gave us so much money. Jacob, come back. Jacob, come back. Any website can see. We messed up, and it's not the same without you. Are you ditching or something?
Where am I gonna ditch to? I'm gonna ditch to an area where they want me dead. Yeah, that's great,
Yeah, also, hold on. So, yeah, can I just point out Percival here? Saw that was walking towards the school and saw somebody facing the direction of the school itself. Therefore, like, coming back into it, and presumed that they were ditching, even though he himself is not.
Okay.
Is not in the school premises at the moment, and was therefore probably like what? If he had a reason to be outside, if he had a reason to be outside of school, yeah.
Okay, so probably what could have fixed it
Percival's the bad boy.
What could have fixed it is if you put Aurora more in the middle and had her turn away from the school to think about it or contemplate stuff while standing in like the middle of the path, and then had him go from the other side. Bam, scene staging kind of fixed a little bit.
That's like ditching when you literally go to school at Hogwarts. Why would you ditch in Hogwarts? It's Hogwarts. Well, that depends. Is Umbridge around? Is it during that time period?
I ditch Umbridge unless it's one specific version of Umbridge. Then I wouldn't ditch.
People like to ditch Umbridge.
I wouldn't.
Umbridge cry.
I wouldn't ditch that one version of Umbridge. The one version of Umbridge I wouldn't ditch. I'd go to all her classes. It'd be great.
Yeah, I'd ditch Pigfiles to explore Mars, probably. I mean, gotta be careful there, but yes, that is 100% a good idea. Honestly, there need to be more magical schools in space, I think. There's too much of a like distinction between like science fiction and fantasy elements of stuff. That's why Star Wars is so great. Space wizards. You rarely get that combination.
The main difference normally between like sci-fi and magic is sci-fi, like fantasy magic style, is because fantasy / magic tends to not try to at least make up excuses of, oh, it could have feasibly happened if you did XYZ with technology using magnetic field or whatever. Like in the case of like magic systems and stuff, they don't try to do that. They're just like, oh yeah, no, if you say this incantation, you can shoot a fireball. You know, they don't go, well,
yeah,
if you use this specific chemical compound.
They have their own, what you're saying is they have their own mechanics. That is what science fiction does, is they use real world mechanics as a basis point and then elevate it.
Allegedly, even though sometimes it doesn't line up.
But see, that's why they can combine those, because ultimately they do come from like a very similar place. You're establishing, with magic system, you're establishing your own logic to it, so there's no reason that you couldn't find ways to tie them in, or possibly contrast between them, such as, stuff like in like the Avatar universe, for example.
The thing of sci-fi for me is like you gotta go out of your way to try to find some way to tie it into reality, versus magic you don't even have to try to tie it into real world stuff. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm personally more a fan of fantasy, because you can do whatever, and it's. I mean, granted, there are bad magic systems, but you kind of, generally speaking, do whatever, and it can still make sense. Versus with sci-fi.
Weird that you people would say that, because you're a stickler for magic systems explaining and making sense a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, I'm a fan of magic systems having some sort of cost associated with them. Like, you can't just cast a nuke spell whenever you want with 0 ramifications on your own body, being like, oh yeah, I just casually cast a nuke spell. I mean, I'm not a fan of that kind of magic system. It's like, okay, but I mean, like, you can't really just you can't really just do whatever and use magic as an excuse, I don't know. Sci-fi is decent, but also is less interesting.
I was gonna say, based on what you just said there about the risk of with magic, sci-fi actually can't fall into that trap that you have said that magic systems fall into all the time. So if anything, that's an advantage over it.
But then sometimes the science doesn't even match up, or at least the quote unquote basis they're trying to use doesn't even make any sense Like, there's no scientific basis of what they're trying to claim sometimes, and it's like, okay, why are you trying to claim this? That's not even close to what could even happen. And it depends. Sci-fi realistically is a lot more convoluted to write, or like could be harder to write, but a lot of sci-fi isn't written well as well.
It depends. It depends, because as somebody who's written a few sci-fi books, there are the advantages are the same as because it means that you don't have to like invent an entirely new magic system and new rules around it. You have that blueprint, and if you're significantly versed in like whichever field of science that you happen to be they happen to be like building upon, then it feels that it feels like something that could it doesn't feel like it's out of place. I mean, a lot of my sci-fi books actually started when I was, in secondary school taking GCSE triple science. So, it was fresh in my mind at the same time. Yeah. So it does depend. If someone's interested in science, then yeah, that's where they would veer a lot more. But if somebody, if that doesn't interest them, then and they potentially want to like go that step beyond, then yes, that's where the fantasy stuff comes in.
Yeah. Also, just going back to the video here. By the way, this is just something they should have edited on the Gacha character with their hood up. They should have got rid of the ponytails.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we mentioned that last episode, but you are right, and also like the bit of the hair at the back there as well.
Yeah, I would just change her hair slightly when she's wearing the hood, and like have her hair look slightly different. Then when she takes out the hood, you give her ponytails back and stuff.
Yeah, well, again, the ponytails aren't the only issue there, but they are the biggest issue. So yeah, just to refer to that science fantasy thing, I wasn't trying to compare one system of quality versus the other. What I was trying to say was there are precious few examples of science fiction and fantasy combining together and using their individual strengths to elevate to a better story. That's what I mean. Again, Star Wars is the biggest example of that concept. But even Star Wars leans more into the sci-fi stuff than the fantasy stuff in most occasions. Anyway. No, actually, I'm an outsider.
Don't tell him. Well, actually, he can probably assume you're a witch, hopefully. Hopefully he doesn't think you're a human. It's like, a human! Kill it with fire!
Yes, but he probably can do that. You're a witch, right?
No,
yes.
I'm not a witch. I'm a human. Haha! Get wrecked, son. You're all going to jail.
I'm nothing you've heard. You,
also,
I'm not a witch.
Also, I hate how it's like yes exclamation point, or it's like yes, or it's like yes. Like how do you read that? How do you read that? Like
I'm not actually
normally
sure.
when you have multiple dots after something, it's like yeah or yes. You know, it's like it's kind of like you're like a bit quieter, like kind of like I get more of a timid vibe, but when you add like multiple dots at the end, where it's like, well, you know, that kind of vibe. But like the explanation point, it's like that's a very different emotion. It's like yes, it's like I don't reading. How do you read that? How do you interpret that? I don't understand. Okay, good. See, that's a good way to use it. Okay, good. See, that's a better way to
interpret. A warning signal to everyone.
Oh.
It's okay, yeah, so they do have a security measure in place for this, yeah. Anyway, are you serious?
What?
About what else? That you're an outside witch.
No, I'm lying to you. Of course I'm a witch.
How are you able to survive out there without being caught?
Just don't do magic, okay? It's not like being a witch is like visual. Just don't do magic when you're in public.
It's a long story, and boy was it. We don't need to hear it again.
Oh god, no! Not that again!
But I'm actually here to attend this academy. There we go. Okay, we skipped that, yeah. Well, I can't fully trust you yet, however,
well, I'm not asking you to. I mean, I never asked you to, but sure, thank you.
Actually, is Percival a teacher? Maybe that's why he's asking about, like, the whole ditching thing, and that's why he was outside and could justify his own absence. He gives
more like head student vibe, like student counselor or whatever, like, you know, president maybe, student council.
Head boy, yeah.
What do you mean?
To prove that you're really a witch.
Okay, fireball to your face.
Cast a spell. Any spell.
Okay, the nuke spell! I'm kidding. No nuke spell.
There's no Magic Academy after that. Fine. I've already mentioned in the last episode we don't need the stage directions there. It's just a thing for some reason.
You need Okay, wait. Let me talk about this. So
there you go. There's the fantasy part. A mushroom couldn't grow on stone without some dirt there. Yeah, there you go. Fantasy.
Okay, why did you have to take out? You took out a book, but instead of reading said book, you just took it out of your bag and then just casted a spell without looking at the book. What's the point of the spell book? Like you didn't read from the spell book.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The only way that would actually work is if the spell book is like a magical conduit that you can actually use if you like. If that's why like
you're like channeling the book or whatever that's like filled with mana or something.
Yeah, maybe
like you're channeling it to cast spells. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I'm giving like a huge benefit of the doubt here. You're probably right. That was an oversight.
Yeah, I don't know. That just seems like a little bit strange. Like I don't know. I personally would have either had to read the book or just not take the book at all and like just be like, I memorized certain spells, like a mushroom spell. I used to get high once with all my mushrooms.
Those some giant mushrooms too. I really hope that was not the case.
I casted 20 of them and started eating a bunch. It was crazy. I was high for days.
That was the most basic spell ever. Well, what? Yes, but
yeah,
you said any spell. There's a reason she's coming to learn, you know. You said any spell, exactly. Whatever. Fine, you've gained some of my trust.
Okay, cool. Don't care.
But not all of them yet. You've gained, which is the wrong tense of the word, some of my trust, but not all of them yet, implying like multiple trusts? What? What the heck is all with all these trusting stuff?
Yeah.
If you can say these, which is the plural thing, that means that's a countable thing, so you wouldn't say stuff, which is used for uncountable. There's always so much grammar stuff going on here. Witches were, you know, one of the biggest criticisms that most fantasy series get, you know, like particularly Hogwarts, but is the big example of this, where you know, in like any sort of like fantasy academy of some kind, it's very rare to have like, you know, like English, maths, that kind of you know, what we would call the core subjects in the real world. And yes, it is 100% an issue, and this is why, because wizards apparently can't speak properly.
Okay, and this is just a major issue I've seen as a whole. For one, he's going on and on about trust, but it kind of feels like if you want to have him potentially not trust her, be like, you could have him go up to her and be like, oh, why aren't you in your uniforms? Like, oh, well, I don't go to school. And then he's like, are you a witch? He's like, yeah. Okay, can you prove to me? Cast a spell. Okay. And just have him look a little unsure. It's like, we should go to the school and like make him look sure. Like, because he's going on all these rants about trusting. Oh, well, I can't trust you fully. Trust. Okay, we get it. What are you, Ryan the Last Dragon? You don't need to repeat it 25 times to get the point. God. Ugh. You need to trust people. Bitch, you can just say it once.
Or not at all. Like, what you said there, actually, you know, with, like, the character reactions, that would have sufficed. Because what you described there was all the story beats we just saw, but just recontextualized, like, the dialogue, or I guess lack thereof, as an example.
It's like, it's annoying. He's like, okay, I get it. Like, it's like someone going up to you, hi, I'm Shy Quiet Boy who has issues with people. What's up? Oh, hi, I am a new girl who is really enthusiastic and hyper. What's up? It's good to meet you. I can't wait to expand our relationship and potentially get in a romantic relationship. I agree. We may, but don't worry. I'm going to get with another love interest or two in between just to prolong the relationship drama. I'm glad we established that. It's like doing that in the show. It'd be stupid, you know? Hello, I am saying a bunch of my character traits and character motivations. It's like, cool. Can you show them? God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what we've got here is a unique example of both show and tell at the same time. Because Percival's doing both, technically speaking, but again, he only needs to do the one.
You could have him be unsure and just be I'm frustrated.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Much like Percival himself, you've made your point.
Yes, fine.
That's our number one rule here: is to give and not give trust. Learn how to. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Could you at least help me? Just tell the guards over at the entrance that you're here to.
Wait! She just had to go up to the guards? That's all she had to do! That's all she had to do! Why?
I'm more impressed that were guards there the whole time off screen and she didn't think like, I wonder how I'm gonna get in. That's like the first thing everyone does when they go up and approach a place. Emil did it in The People Above.
Nah, he just stared from a field, being like, I wonder how I'm gonna get in there. That's what happened, obviously.
Curious. There is a very obvious entrance with two guards approaching. Well, I'm stuck. I have no ideas. Time to go home.
Hello, random civilian. What was that? Oh, there are guards up there I could go and talk to get inside. That's great to know. I'm gonna go there now.
I need new glasses. I will design better lenses for myself when I get home. Anyway.
Ooh, wait, actually, idea for people above. He gets, like, cool lenses that allow him to have, like, X-ray vision. Mixing some of that sci-fi and fantasy together.
I suppose, yeah. That depends if he because haven't established that Emil uses like any sort of magic himself. So
well, I was saying just technological glasses, not magic, but there's magic in people above. Therefore, sci-fi technology.
Well, we already have his magnet cards. That's already sci-fi.
Well, I want the X-ray goggles or something now. Maybe I say X-ray goggles, X-ray glasses.
Yeah. Skeleton! Oh, it's you, Moesha.
Oh, God. Definitely make them turn audible because you don't want to do that to people. Gross.
Well, no, if it goes down to their skeletons, like most X-rays will go down to like the bone because that's what reflects from them. What we classify as that if we're using proper X-rays, that's what would like be the scientific way around that, rather than just like the whole thing of like
oh no, I can see you're
under people's clothes and no other layers. It's like how convenient.
Gross.
Yeah, most of the time that's not how X-ray works. I do remember, weirdly enough, like I have like this memory of this one this one ad that aired one time on TV of this camera that took X-ray pictures or something that was like marketed as a toy of some kind. And given the fact that I only remember seeing that ad one time, it's probably a sign the product was very quickly discontinued. Anyway. Good luck. What kind of help was that? Well, the help that you didn't need, apparently, because you can see the guards. That was actually pretty decent. But anyway, let's go. So we've already got a pointless scene immediately upon starting the
episode. They have names above them. If you're gonna show the names, please actually give them a name. If you're going to put names above the characters, you can't just name them which guard. Okay, you gotta give them a name at least if you're gonna show their names. If you're not gonna show their names, don't put them above their head.
You wouldn't have any issue.
That's like Morwenna's mom not being named, just having mom above her head during season 1. Be like, oh yeah, there's mom.
That was a thing that people did a lot of the time in Gacha in those days, particularly. Which I guess is also the days of this video. But actually, some people even went a step further. Some of them went like mum, and then in brackets the actual name of the person. It's like, well, I mean,
then why not just put the actual name? I mean, like, do they not have faith in their writing to convey that that's the mother of the character?
This is the same community that for some reason likes to say takes out spell book when a character's taking out a spell book. So,
I know, right? It's like, why do you have to write down your actions though? I find that weird. It's like, come on, you don't have to write. Like, if we can see what's happening, if you can't see what's happening, is one thing. Like, if you're having them do a complex action, like rapidly flip through pages, if you're doing something like that, that's one thing. And like at this time, you couldn't probably do that well. That's one thing, but don't do it like being like character takes off hood. It's like, well, yeah, just saw that.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yes, who are you?
Okay, everyone's so chill, by the way, for like some random person walking up when they're all being hunted for being witches, which I hate how chill everyone is about this. I don't know. I kind of feel like things would be taken a lot more seriously if you're being hunted, but
with Percival, it kind of makes sense as far as like, because he thought immediately about the uniform part, as well as the witch guard here. I guess if they're assuming immediately that anyone who can access here must be a witch, probably implies also like protection.
Let's be honest, inevitably one of the humans are gonna find their way here with relative ease.
Potentially, yeah.
Inevitably. The school's gonna be attacked, and there's gonna be a whole drama.
I mean, if a whole army of humans shows up, then I don't think they're all going to be like, why are all these humans out of uniform? Oh, I'm being trampled. That's going to be a bit different in that situation. I'm an outsider who's a witch. I'm here to roll for the academy. An outsider, huh? You must prove that you're a witch.
Oh my god! Take a shot every time they say trust. You're going to die alcohol poisoning before the end of the video. God! We have to gain trust. Trust. Okay, question. What was the point of the previous scene if we're just going to go through it again with her casting a mushroom spell or whatever and then being like, well, you haven't gained our trust fully yet. I don't know, but we'll accept you for now. Trust.
If I had to guess, the only reason that other scene exists as well as this one is so that yes, exactly, so she can meet.
But I mean, then come up with a more interesting scene. Maybe have the character walk over dismissively. It's like, are you skipping or something? Listen, please don't skip. seriously, go back to school. And it's like, how do I get into the school? You talk to the guards? Why would whatever, you're weird, and then him walk off. I don't know, something like that.
Actually, I'm thinking something else. I'm thinking if she actually walked up to the guards with Percival, and then he explains what's happening, so then they don't ask about trust again, then they would let her through.
No, but we gotta reiterate it, because, it's not annoying saying trust 20 times. It's not annoying.
21. Only the 21st time does it become annoying. Exactly, yeah.
Exactly, Look, hey, I'm all for, like, repeating themes and stuff, which, I mean, I'm all for repeating themes and stuff, but you gotta find interesting ways to repeat a theme without just saying the same thing over and over again in several different ways, like rephrasing the same sentence over and over again.
Well, if you're saying it in several different ways, that's at least something. They're saying it the same way. The problem here. Yeah.
Maybe there's self-awareness with this line here. It's like, here we go with the trusting, and it's like,
I suppose, yeah, because Percival did say that being able to to give or not give trust is like the ethos of the school, which means that it's ingrained into every person here, staff and students. So that might be partly
maybe, but it's still annoying regardless of it. I mean,
yeah.
What was like war in the next episode gonna be like? Everyone you gotta trust everyone, I guess, or not trust.
If they both said it once each, if Percival and Witchguard here would have said it both once each, it wouldn't be so bad, because that reinforces the fact that it's ingrained to everyone, and then we move on. But Percival kind of ruined it.
Oh, so she didn't even have to take out the spell book again.
No. See, she knows the pumpkin spell off by heart. The mushroom one, she's got to do a quick revision.
She doesn't remember it very well because the shroom incident. Still eating the mushrooms. She barely remembers it.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's why she didn't remember. Yeah, okay, fine.
Oh no.
All right, lead her to the main office for enrollment. Yes, sir. Make sure she doesn't do anything sketchy. Yes. See that line there? Make sure she doesn't do anything sketchy. That's the implied mistrust. Right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
God.
Wait, do I leave my horse here? Your horse ran off the second you stepped up to the gates. It's like, oh, so he did. Okay, living his life. All right, bye. I'll get the Empress for the mounts to take care of your horse.
The Empress? Wait, Empress is in this? Oh no, Empress, get out of the show! You're so much better than the show.
Empress appreciates science more than fantasy.
Empress hasn't met Adam yet, so she won't appreciate fantasy until she meets him.
Well, I mean, Adam's not supposed to reveal that, so probably
not. Yeah, probably not.
Anyway, thank you.
Come on.
Oh, I guess it doesn't make the pumpkin disappear anymore. Okay.
Are we in the Undertale room? Are we in the Undertale room where you fight Sans?
Oh yeah, the lighting does kind of look reminiscent of that, but at the same time, it's not 8-bit, so it's definitely a reimagined version of that. Okay. Let the principal know you're here to enroll, but first, let me count up all your XP points.
No, but first, let me make sure I trust you. Cast another spell for me, because trust is very important, and we don't trust easily, because we all need to trust people, the right people. We need to trust the right people with the power of trust, because in the academy, we trust. Because trusting is trusting. Trust,
I think Aiden's broken. I think this broke Aiden.
It did. They said trust too much. I'm so consumed by the trust.
Anyways, interesting that this we've got like a fade from one image to another. Actually, I haven't noticed that too much. Can we pause there? Yeah, they do all fade to each other. That's some nice detail of the screenshots there. Here goes nothing.
Wait, he said wait there, right? Didn't he say wait there?
You know what? I'm scrolling back. I got distracted by the whole, by the whole trust thing. Let the head principal know you're here to enroll. So no, that was.
I thought he said wait here. Like, oh no.
Oh no, he said we're here. That's what you're thinking of.
I was like, oh.
I just realized the Witch Guard has been like inverted. So this is I don't remember that glitch happening if you if inverted characters, if you flip them over in Gacha Life, or maybe I'm wrong. So that must mean that this is a like a separate layer that's been flipped over and keyframed that way. Interesting.
Well, yeah, the name's backwards.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, most people would just do that in the Gacha app itself, but that's not a glitch that I recognize. I don't think that was the case. Any people using Gacha Life in 2019, like, back me up here, I don't think that was a thing that happened. Maybe it did for some people. Maybe it happened on mobile.
Excuse me.
May I help you? I'm here to enroll. Oh, so you're new. I can tell by your unfamiliar appearance. I memorized all of my students' appearances. That's why I have this headpiece. It's my memory enhancer. We barely get any new students anymore.
Yeah, because the witches are being genocided. What do you think?
Yeah, you're the first in 5 years. The classes actually, you know what? This is a good excuse for having a small cast. Actually,
everyone got genocided, so we only have witches.
Well, yeah, one of my biggest complaints in every Gacha series set in a school is the fact that the classes all seem very small. And yes, small classes do exist in certain schools, but mostly if they're fighting people in like in a rural setting most of the time, and they have neighboring towns and such. That's usually how you get that size class. But yeah, not usually what's implied with the schools that we see around here.
Also, she has a throne, man. I don't know why she has a throne. Is she the queen of the school? I thought she was the principal, not the queen.
That's the closest that a school would have in this instance.
A throne?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like royalty to my students. One day, my daughter who goes to the school will become the new queen of the school. The new principal queen. Queen principal.
Right. Queen principal. Wow. Wow, 5 years. I guess I'm one of the remaining witches out there. That you already knew that from the first scene. We all knew that. Does that only just click for her after the whole exposition thing as well? That everything was explained as to how and why the witches were hunted, and
kind of.
There are hidden witch villages out there, but you'll get to learn about that more soon. If I saw a new witch that was from one of these hidden villages, I would assume that any new witch that appeared at my doorstep was from one of the hidden villages. That'd be my first thought.
Maybe she memorized all the witches in the witch villages too. I memorized every single witch in every secret witch village secretly.
This is why she has a throne. She would manage. She has a lot of political sway because she remembers all of the politicians. Honestly, that's kind of implied with Dumbledore as well, because he taught most of the people in high government office positions in the UK. So not only do they know what he's capable of, but he also knows a lot about them, personality-wise as well. Anyway.
Ghosty's here in the chat. She says, I'm here for the Bedbug Zane House of Video.
There's Bedbug Zone, I think.
Oh. It's pretty meh right now. Kind of frustrated with the whole trust thing, because keep bringing up trust over and over again and drilling it into the ground.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's get back to enrollment. You may take a seat if you like.
She did magic to summon a chair, guys!
Honestly,
her butt is magic! She can summon chairs.
Yeah, that would have been the perfect, first spell. I guess, the issue with this is that Gacha Life 1 had, the grey chair and the blue chair for anyone who's sitting down in them, so, that's not mechanically that would have been too difficult, but yeah.
Whenever wizards and witches sit on chairs, they go from grey to blue.
Yeah, see that why not? Something it changes color under pressure from someone's body. Yeah.
Well, you see, the chairs are like magical conduits. You see, the magic is like blue or whatever. So like when you're sitting on it, it's like channeling all the magic and like you're like a battery to the chair.
There you go. Detect magic would actually do something in this instance.
Oh my god! Finally.
Yeah.
I want that to work so bad one day. So bad.
So what made you come to this academy, and how did you know about it? I came to this academy because it exists, unlike most of the others.
I came to school because I'm on the run from evil witch hunters who want to genocide me, and I learned about it from my mom, who we may or may not see again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's not really my mom, but she had a son or whatever. I don't know, something. She had a
There you go. My foster mom, yeah, historically speaking, anyway. My foster mom made me come here. It really wasn't a choice. I had to come.
Well, yeah, you're being
explain to me. No! Don't explain to her! Whatever you do... Oh, thank goodness. And that's it. That's very thoughtful of your foster mom. If it wasn't for her, you could have been dead. Wow, what gave that away? The fact that that was literally what she said in the story? I do remember a student who passed away. I remember all my dead students' faces.
I remember them all. I have the memory of an elephant.
Wait. So you're saying you know my foster mom?
Yes!
That's a really bold assumption here. That is the only possible student that could have passed away.
No, but like
in a world where witches are hunted, you know.
No, here's the thing. Of course, she knows the dead foster mom's son, because that's obvious joke of that she knows everyone. Blah blah. That obvious joke aside, but you already knew the foster mom's son went to the school. That was already stated, and assumably she's been the principal for a while potentially. So you know.
Yes, but well, I mean, that depends actually. You know, we don't know how long she's been principal for. Usually with magical schools, the principal's been around for, you know, a long time.
Hundreds of years.
Give or take at least 50 usually, but you know, it's not a requirement.
Queen principal Banner.
Yes. Which means I also know your foster mum. I met her at the funeral.
Oh.
Her son was a great student. A brave one, too. I won't say his name, of course. That would be too much effort. Is it okay if you tell me how he died?
You know this!
Times
you know this! You know this, though. Witch Hunters got the husband and the son. What do you mean? You know this. Your stepmom told you this the whole last scene.
I'll tell you some other day. When Oreo decides to add more detail and a flashback potentially. But I think we should just continue to enroll you.
Well, you haven't started apparently.
Well, this is like the entry interview, so that's as part of enrollments. All right. Take out your hand.
Now I own your soul now. Thank you for doing that. It's great.
The seal will break upon your graduation. Anyway. Here, just fill this in and I'll give you more information about the academy.
What? Okay, I mean, I think there was a missed opportunity of them using magic to be like...
Make something. The paper appear in front of her or something. Yeah.
I was like, you know, cause I don't know.
I was thinking that as well. Like the stereotypical, like the whole, like, you know, it bursts into flames or something, and it's right there. I guess that's also kind of like associated with demons potentially, but you know.
Sell me your soul. I want it. For my jewelry box.
That'd be really funny if it turns out that if the principal was a demon, but like, you know, everyone accepted that it's like highly respected and good reputation, but very much keeps like the mannerisms of the demon or something. Where it's like, well, hello there. Would you care to sign my paper? Then you may join my school. I look forward to your progress. No, seriously, I actually do. Good luck. I want to do that. Have a character who just has all the manners of a bad guy, but is just good to the bone.
I mean, if you want to add extra D&D characters to that D&D campaign, if you want to play 2 characters or introduce a 3rd character, or a 4th character played by you, you get dual wield characters.
I mean, I don't know if I go that far necessarily. I mean, I fake contract to stay in school. Yeah, but which name do you sign with? It's a fake contract. That's the real question.
Wait a minute. Oh no, wait. You could have a character like that be the main protagonist in the Ghosties. Be one of the protagonists in Ghosties campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I assure you, I am not a monster. I think I was gonna reuse. Oh, I was actually gonna reuse my my character I was gonna have for Ghostie's other idea. The Doctor one, but yeah, might have to change that because that means I'll be like Ulrich and Dr. Stern. Whether or not I want to keep that joke going, as it depends.
You can just change the last name.
I was considering Dr. Belpois, admittedly.
Yeah, I was feel like just you change the last name to another Yoga reference.
Yeah. Oh no, wait, no, I forgot. The reason why I went with Dr. Stern is because that character is a water genasi, and Adolfo Romero, the Spanish voice of Ulrich, also voiced Toby from Gormiti. Toby being being like the Lord of the Sea, and his form that he transforms into for his Gormiti form actually looks like a water genasi. So it was like a whole like layered in a reference. So I'm gonna keep his name for my own sake. Yeah, I'll keep the bit, absolutely. This is what my brain does, by the way. Sometimes it makes references to stuff that only I will find entertaining. Anyway.
Oh, the chairmaster disappeared.
And the headmistress shuffled over, probably because she got like moved accidentally. You're finished? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Now I need to sign you a dormitory. I think you meant assign.
No, I need to assign you one. She just like the hand motions and it just summons a door for a dormitory for you. It's like,
that would be a really good like idea for a magical thing, because then you can teach that to somebody. They can summon their dormitory wherever they are.
Alpha Academy idea. Maybe like a shortcut to their bedroom. Maybe maybe they learn in a class like a shortcut to your bedroom. Maybe like, hey, if you ever need to get to your bedroom in an emergency, we're all going to teach you like a little like spell you could do is to like go to your specific door room.
Yeah, it kind of in Supernatural Academy, the Netflix series, it actually there's something similar to that where you can actually like make a door. And then you can open that door and like go through like a frame that matches that exact door frame. You appear on that other side. So yeah, and there's also got like this like whole like like was it Grove, or I think it was the Grove they called it, where there's like a bunch of doors that you could enter and there's like a whole like revolving set. Yeah. So there's precedent for it. Anyway, just to let you know, our dorms here are not organized by gender like other academies would. Okay, fair enough. I mean, you would think that with so few students they would have a dorm to themselves, quite frankly, considering all the stuff, but I mean, the fact they're not gender organized, that's not the end of the world.
I mean, it works. Probably,
yeah.
I mean, yes.
Exactly, yeah. It's like I understand the historical reason why people decide to introduce
oh my god
like only male, only female like groups for,
no way I know
dorms
why.
and stuff.
I know
but they
why.
never account for gay people. So
yeah, exactly. But but here's the thing. I know why they're not gender organized. She's gonna end up with that one guy who's a douche to her in the beginning of the episode, who went on and on about trust.
She's gonna end up with that is true. But the problem, the thing is that even if they were gender organized, all you have to do is like change Percival's gender, and that would be that would fix the problem.
Yeah,
Because how many times has somebody been paired up with a character that they don't like in the first episode, but they're forced into close proximity to, and they have to like warm to each other over time?
Honestly, probably why they made the Percival a guy and had the dorm rooms be non-gender organized was purely because they probably want her to end up with him, and they probably didn't want to make her a lesbian or something. So they're like, she's straight, so she's just gonna be living with a man. And who's kind of a jerk, but they're gonna fall in love, and that's gonna be a series finale where they kiss or whatever.
I really hope they don't do
they
don't do like the anime thing where one of them catches the other in like the shower or the bath or something. It doesn't matter which order it is, but like that's it's been done to death. So hopefully they missed that one. So that means I have a male roommate by any chance?
Correct.
So you're fine with that? Of course, I don't really mind. Yeah, there you go. I hate that trope. Yes, same here, because normally the person who walks in accidentally gets, like, physically punished for that, and it's like, well, lock the door next time or something. Anyway. So one of the assistants will lead you to your room.
Oh, we're introducing another character, yay. Why can't you just teleport her to a room? You know what? Teleport her to a room. Teleport her right outside a room. Bam! Magic being shown. I
would say that's what Alpha Academy, but yeah, that is literally what happened in the episode. That was how both episodes actually. They insist on teleportation. And I'm guessing they're already here. Good luck out there now. I'll see you around soon. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
I'm going to devour your soul later.
Yep. Here we go. Hello, assistant. I'm guessing the assistant's probably gonna get a name change when it's revealed what her name is. That's another thing that people did in Gacha all the time. If you want to like have someone introduce themselves, then their name appears. Most of the time it was because like their name would be like hidden. But then as soon as they say their name, it appears above them.
Well, I mean, that works better hiding their name, but then have it reappear later. That works better than changing their name. I think assistant is just a throwaway character, which, by the way, in this episode, potentially speaking, we have had 3 throwaway characters, the 2 guards and the assistant character. Keep in mind, when this episode has only introduced 6 characters, counting the main character, we have the main character, the principal, and the boy. Meaning, most of these characters are pretty much throwaways, potentially. So that's great,
I'm actually really enjoy that aspect. I mean, also bear in mind that in the last episode, there were 2 guards as well who seem to have a lot going on between them, but they're probably not going to show up again as well.
Yeah, but not even the throwaway characters have any personality or anything remarkable about them. There's kind of...
The guards in last episode did, but these ones, not really.
I don't know. I mean,
that's more of an issue because I actually really commend Gacha series that will do this kind of thing because A, it makes the world feel larger, especially when there's so few like people apparently that are canonically around, and B, it reinforces like when a character just do stick around, you don't have to introduce like everyone who's like super relevant in the first episode.
Yeah, but I was kind of hoping though by this point in the episode we at least got introduced to more of the main cast because. Based off how Gacha tends to go, or at least how these kind of stories go, she's gonna make probably a female best friend at one point.
Could be the assistant.
I don't think it's gonna be assistant. I think she's literally just a generic character that's gonna be gone.
No, probably. I'm just saying, if she's gonna make a female best friend, there's a possibility right now.
But she's probably gonna make some female best friend. We're probably gonna have a somewhat named teacher, maybe, who teaches magic, like the main teacher that teaches all the magic lessons or like helps or whatever, and then you have like the love interest character who she's probably dorming with. Most likely is how things are gonna go. But I just kind of wish we'd actually get introduced to more of the cast since I don't know how far we're into the episode. I think we're like halfway through the episode now at this point.
A little bit before halfway through, yes, pretty much.
Yeah, but like I kind of wish we would at least get introduced to more of the cast earlier on or something, or at least give these characters names. Like, I'm just annoyed the fact that these are just generic placeholder names. So clearly there's no thought put into any of these characters. like the random
again, unless their names get revealed later, because there's also a possibility that at this stage of the proceedings, Oreo didn't have a plan for any of these people, but then they end up coming back in some sort of way afterwards. That can sometimes happen.
Potentially, but also with throwaway characters, especially with Gacha's lack of character slots back in the day, I imagine like you design a character and then immediately overwrite them to make a new character who's going to be relevant.
This is why I commend people doing this, because that was the one issue that stopped me from having too many extras in the musical, was the fact that I would have to constantly have to remake a bunch of the characters. So the ones that I did have, I kept on reusing, like even Liam and Brian, for example, with exception of like Marina and Narissa from the first episode. Very few characters would be there that would not show up afterwards, and that's something that I actually didn't like.
I don't know. I like
making it.
I like reoccurring background characters, though. At least
Oh yeah, but I like them in tandem with non-reoccurring ones, so they stand out as there's a difference between them.
I don't know, because I feel like especially reoccurring background characters are important when you're in the same location for a period of time. It's like school settings get this. Like if you don't have reoccurring background characters, and the only reoccurring characters in the whole show are the main protagonists as a whole, it gets a little bit weird because like, okay, so there are all these students, but yet none of them, we never see any of these students more than once in the whole show, besides the main protagonist, which that gets a little bit weird, like you think you'd at least see one of the random students at least twice in a season, as a whole, because,
Yeah, that's why I like them in tandem, and especially, and yeah, naturally, of course, if you have people in the same class, you're going to reuse them. That's why I like a lot of French shows, particularly, will use those main characters. Like Code Lyoko, for example, it starts off with a bunch of like unnamed background characters, and then eventually a lot of them actually will get names, whether it's for an episode or not. And because they've got an episode to them, they've got people who have like been cast to play them. Most of them can reoccur sometime later. And that's
but I mean, with Code Lyoko, though, I had an issue with the fact that I feel like some characters, like Theo, got a name and got a little bit to them.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like
proceeded to pretty much go into the ether. Like I kind of wish he had a second episode attributed to him, just because like if you're gonna give him a name and a voice and stuff, I feel like it would have made more sense to at least have him come back, like say in season 4 or something, like late season 3 or something. Be like, oh, okay, he's back for an episode with a bit more.
I mean, I personally wouldn't even waited that long, quite frankly. Also, that there's actually, I've mentioned before, there's a common like fan theory, because his last name is Gautier, and there's a fan theory that he's Laura Gautier's older brother, but that's not confirmed. But anyway, yeah, Theo and like Emily from the Routine episode, for example, they're the exceptions to what I was saying. Like, I'm not saying that Kodoko does that well all the time, but a lot of other characters, at least even if you hear them like being discussed in the background, Anais Fouquet, for example, gets mentioned a lot, and we don't even know which character she is until like season 2, and then afterwards, like, oh hey, that's Anais Fouquet in the background there. Wonder what she thinks of Bringa and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, there's like other stuff there. That's why I mean, like, there's some of them are not. There's some, because not every single one gets different names or something. But for every Theo or Emily, there's a million Tamiya, for example, to balance them out. That's why I like the recurring ones in tandem, because it feels like, yeah, they've got more significance in comparison to the other background characters. Not just like everyone has to get like a quota to fill, as well as like complete the roster or something. That's why I prefer that particular method. And ultimately, it is born out of.
I think it's cool when long running series though has like a background character who's maybe like a small part of like season 1, like in like the second season, ends up getting a much larger role and like more defined personality or something, like where it's like everyone ends up defined. I mean, I think that's cool from a long-term perspective, but granted, most shows can't really do that at a certain point. To be fair.
Yeah, and I guess the other example, of course, is Miraculous. If it had gone for like only 2 seasons, for example, then we would have missed out on like most of what everyone was all about afterwards. It became much more of like a like a shared limelight situation as that went on. And now, pretty much, you can like look at the entire class of like the François Dupont and like that whole class set that's there and name every single one of them. That's another example. That's an example of like everyone getting screen time eventually.
Although to be fair, that also comes out of the fact that we are dealing with, in the case of Miraculous, a 3D show. since 3D shows, you have to 3D model each character, and you have to put so much time and money just designing a single like minor and background character. That's why in Miraculous, I'm pretty sure that everyone actually has more defined personality and like reoccurs to a certain level, because they kind of have to conserve as much resources as possible. So it's like, okay, instead of making up a random girl for this single episode, let's just use Julika instead and give her this personality there.
Okay, so the reason that I mentioned Kolyoko first is because 2D shows have that
yeah,
too.
2D,
Because
shows
they have like the
draw a
concept
single
art
character.
phase, they have like different designs. Yeah, yes, there's an underlying to like redraw them, but bear in mind this was around the time that, you know, they were starting to use computers for 2D as well as for you know, like actually as well as the 3D. In the case of Kolyoko, was both of them. And ultimately, I'm pretty sure even in the days of cell animation, I'm sure they still had to bear that kind of thing in mind most of the time. So because they have to reuse those same cells to some extent or adapt from them, it's a saving technique in both cases, both 2D and 3D. Just one that took a step further than the other, and I mentioned, like, because with French shows particularly, it seems that they seem to lean that direction. That's so I don't know what that says about like that process or the general mentality there, but you know it works. But anyway.
Are you Aurora? Yes. Welcome. Good afternoon, Aurora. Good afternoon. I can't read.
Mm-hmm.
Now come with me to a new dormitory. I'll give you the key from there. Oh, come on, give it a magic lock.
Maybe the key is code for a glyph of some kind. Or yeah, she has to teach her the key. Maybe you'll give you the key because you have to, like, I don't know. I'm benefit of the doubt. I'm trying here. I'm trying.
Okay, here's the thing. We're dealing with magic school, and I kind of just this is just me. Like, if we're dealing with magic school, I really want less mundane things, because you know you don't really want to be too mundane, especially with the excuse of it's a magic school. So you could literally do a lot more stuff in that's kind of nonsensical and crazy and get away with it, because you know magic.
Yeah, okay, that's true. On the flip side of that, this might go into this is the thing people talk about a lot with like dystopian novels. You know, this is my English lit students coming in here. That in lots of dystopian novels, what they'll do is they'll take a word that everyone knows the meaning of and then, like, you know, flip it in some way so it like has an entirely new meaning in the society in question. You can do that with something like a word like the key, for example. You can say, so you'll give someone the key and have it be like a magic glyph of some kind.
Okay, but here's the thing. There's one specific word in that phrase you just said, the key, aka that gives it a title. Basically, when you're saying the key, you're making a key a
okay,
title.
Your key also works here because
I was about to be like, because when you use the like that, it's like the X, not the crap. What would a good example be? The weapon. I'm not sure, I think it works in
both cases.
The key gives it more of a title sound than a, you know, item.
Okay, well, in that case, give you your key. Fine, it's still a recognizable word, key, that's they'll be used in a different way.
Key where? Keys here? I didn't know keys in the series. She didn't even exist. She wasn't even written around this time. This was like a year and a half before she was conceptualized.
Yeah, I think this was this was before Mutant. Well, it wasn't before Mutant Gold was conceptualized, because I had the idea for months before. But yeah, before it existed. Walking down, fading.
Boy, I like
this down to the room.
Look at the ceiling.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
It is, yeah.
But everyone's scaling is kind of messed up, though. Everyone's scaling kind of is weird, though, in relation to the background. It's like
this is a consistent thing with a lot of gacha series. Yes, they never considered that, actually. This is the thing that most gacha viewers didn't think about at the time, because we're so used to using like the pre-generated backgrounds. Everyone just like puts the character at the same scale and never adjusts from one scene to the next.
Yeah.
I think that kind of like mentality came about around the same time that camera angles started being used more.
Ah, yes, the magic key I'm physically handing you.
Yeah, I know it was an example of like a concept they could have done, but yeah, I mean, but my point was, if you see like normal words, they could, in theory, be reskinned as something magical.
If you lose
it, come tell us. Go, sorry.
If you lose it, come tell us, and we could get you a new one. I love Assistant's dialogue. She's such an interesting character and with so much personality. Like, I mean, like, honestly, you can't just throw any other design or any other character in front of Assistant, and it makes just as much sense and works as much. You know, like, it's just, she's just such a rich character. I mean, I want a whole Assistant mini series of how deep this OC is. This character is just like, oh my god. Oh.
The fact that Aiden's saying that sarcastically, the king of giving characters spin-offs, that says a lot. That's how you know you messed up.
He is so cookie cutter. She doesn't even talk magically. Like, you didn't even have a reference magic. I swear.
It could be that the school has to appear normal on the outside.
No, it doesn't.
First of all, we're on the inside.
Witch school.
Yeah, we're on the inside, and yes, they have like they even have like witch guards outside as well. So they don't seem to be like. Yeah, you think if anything, they have to try and appear normal from the outside. Which you know a place that appears normal from the outside to non-magic folk? Hogwarts, actually. Little known fact, in the Goblet of Fire book, they actually say that that Hogwarts is enchanted to look like ruins to Muggles, so they won't go near it.
I mean, but have they not heard of people exploring ruins? Have they not?
Well, yes, but I think there's also like other stuff too. There are specific spells that will. There are specific like anti-Muggle spells where suddenly like as soon as like they enter the field, they'll remember like an important date of some kind. That's not described in that Hogwarts scene. It's described for like the Quidditch fields beforehand, because yes, in the book we actually do get to see the Quidditch World Cup, one of my biggest complaints about the films. But anyway, so that is a concept that was introduced there, and was that was like adequately explained.
YouTubers go to Hogwarts. Hey man, I'm exploring these cool ruins. They walk in. Oh my god, is this a wizard school? Oh wait, I gotta go post that video online. Just takes the camera.
This is the thing. This is the thing, Aiden. That like most technology like stops working around Hogwarts because the magical energy around it is so potent. That was also described in the Goblet of Fire, fittingly enough. I wonder if there was just like an idea that J.K. Rowling was like, oh wait, I haven't explained all this stuff yet. Okay, so here's how this happens.
We need to explain why people aren't walking into this wizard school casually. We need to properly explain that.
Potentially. It is also the middle of nowhere, Scotland, admittedly, so that's also another reason people don't just wander onto it randomly, but
well,
yes,
yeah, but it's a giant fancy boarding school. I mean, I feel like someone would see that from a distance and be like, ooh, what's that medieval-looking castle place?
They'd see the ruins, at least, if anything. Anyway. I mean, make yourself at home. Okay, the mannerisms of this character, the way that she's like got like that, like the hair over her face, the fact that she like bows like that, definitely gives me anime vibes for the most part. Like I've seen lots of anime characters act like this particularly. Might be why she's being so formal as well. I'll be back in 15 minutes for your tour around the academy. Sounds great. We're getting our wish. We're going to see the rest of the academy.
Yeah, finally. Fade.
Well, wow. Yeah, because it's Gacha, you can't operate doors easily.
Yeah, but you could have her at least walk up to the doors. That's what I didn't do. I had the character like walk up to the door and then cut to them walking in the room. You know. Oh. But okay.
1 moment.
Also, why is it sunset out?
That's a fair question, because it seemed like she was like.
I thought it was midday.
Yeah, maybe. It felt like that because she woke up and pretty much met immediately there. I forgot how far she traveled. And also,
I thought she allegedly has a roommate. How come the room only has one bed potentially?
This might not be the entire room. But
I highly doubt we're gonna see multiple angles of this room. So.
Well, probably not, but I mean, like, there could be, like, a separate room within this area. You know how, like, some apartments will have, that kind of thing, yeah. The other far more horrendous implication is that they will have to share this bed that looks like it's designed for 2 people.
Oh no!
But I'm gonna say I have faith that that's not gonna be the case. You know, unless they decide to cuddle up for warmth later in the series voluntarily.
Well, it actually looks really cozy. Takes bag off. We can see what you're doing. Okay.
It disappears because you can't set props down in Gacha Life.
Oh no! What? Why didn't we want?
Good way to shake out my hair. It's that's been deformed so much.
Okay, no. Here's the thing. So you have to put takes off bag in like above your head, but you can't put takes off hood above your head. Oh, I see how it is. We're picking and choosing what we're narrating you're doing. I see how it is. Oh God.
Maybe what Oreo thinks is obvious, but it isn't. The plot twist, of course, being that it's all obvious.
Pick a lane over us.
Is that another room? Well, it most likely is. Dare I say. Takes a peek from the side. Okay, so... Okay, so Percival gets a full sofa and desk to himself?
He has a lot more room, man. He has
unfair.
So much room.
And he has like a... Is that an upstairs as well? Is that where the bathroom is, or is there a 3rd roommate in here somewhere?
And told you it was gonna be the guy.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I 100% believed you on that one.
Is that the guy from earlier? My love interest?
Am I sharing rooms with him? Oh great, he's waking up.
Wait, also, you just sleep in your clothes? Oh, I mean, I guess you're napping, but like, dang.
Yeah, remember, this is the guy that never takes off his uniform, so...
But that's a pretty uncomfortable school uniform. Like, you couldn't even take off, like, the jacket to nap, you know? At least wearing, like, the shirt wouldn't be as bad, like a normal, like, buttoned-up shirt or whatever. That wouldn't be as bad, but you're, like, wearing the full-on jumper and everything. And, like, you couldn't take off your shoes or anything. Like, you... Okay. I mean, it's a choice. Dot, dot. Oh my God! Why I hate the whole ... when you're not speaking. It's like, okay, cool. This. Why is that need to be there? I
always interpret that as like them going like that, them doing or something, like just like a random noise.
There's actually you can actually have a character say It's UMH. Or That's how you kind of write it out. Or
It could be HUM, but yeah.
Hi. What a convenience.
Coincidence, but yes.
Coincidence. Guessing. Let me guess. You're my roommate. Yeah.
Do they have shadows for brief seconds that disappear immediately afterwards?
Yeah. What is this glitch? Why?
I don't know. I keep trying to like
every time they switch frames, it looks weird. Like I think it's the fading or whatever because they're fading on a green screen or something. I think that's what's happening, maybe.
And I thought I wouldn't ever get one for good, you know. And here we are, of all the people who have solitary rooms because of the fact that everyone's dead.
Everyone got murdered. Oh well.
Yeah. See if I can try and capture it. No, it only happens when he moves, not when she moves. Ah! He moved!
Maybe it's like a white transition. Maybe.
A white, what, concentrated in the bottom right corner?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but do you not want me here?
Yes! He just said that practically. God, catch up.
I don't really care anymore. Same here with the whole transition thing. I'm not going to try and pause anymore. I don't care anymore. Just don't make a lot of noise and knock before you enter my room. That's fair. Again, proper roommate boundaries.
Well, it's our room, but you know.
As in, like, his portion, like, the room, like, the specific, yeah. You're that kind of person. What? Roommate with boundaries. That's not too bad, honestly.
Yeah. Could be worse. Could be
there's like This is like it's like Silas all over again, you know. There's like a whole like hatred we're supposed to have for this character, but he's ultimately done nothing really wrong.
Besides being really annoying with the whole trust thing. Trust. Ugh.
Okay, sure. The terrible writing didn't help, but you know.
He hasn't did any actions. He just annoyed my soul.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and Silas from the whole like from the Yu-Gi-Oh series so far, he hasn't done anything either, despite the fact that apparently people seem to hate him. That's why the whole idea of like the villain with the whole like good intentions and mannerisms or whatever. Like, anyway, never mind. Wait, isn't there class right now? Well, you're getting a tour in 15 minutes, so there's not class for you.
You don't have a class yet. You don't have your schedule.
I didn't see any other students around earlier, or the halls always seem empty. The school was meant for 100 people. Now there are barely but 20 of us. I don't know.
There's 10 people only in the school now. Everyone else got killed in the war.
It's like ponies. Anyway, so they're technically in class, yep. Nope, it's for training. Like fighting and stuff. I thought that still counts as a class, personally, but what do I know? Oh. So my stepmother was right. They do train at a training school. How wise she was. But I'm skipping. Okay, so he was skipping earlier. That's why he was asking. Why? My precious uniform. And also naps. I need to take naps. Doesn't seem necessary for me. I already know most of what they train. Interesting. Oh no, don't tell me that. Don't tell me she got paired with the prodigy of the school. This is not helping the Alpha Witch Academy comparisons. To pair up the complete novice with the most powerful like witch that is in the school. And the student ranks, at least. Great. So where are you off to? I was off to collect some sage and thyme in the garden. And I decided to fall asleep instead.
No, I think he's referencing what he's doing now.
Yeah, oh, that's why he woke up. Yeah. Ah, you're about to brew something. Yes, it's for some test next week. No, actually, no, they're just my friends, Sage and Time. They're from the show called High Guardian Spice. I don't know if you heard of it.
Wait, wouldn't the test give you the materials you need to brew, or at least give you a bunch of materials? Like, why would you have to gather materials for your own test? Especially if witches are being hunted, wouldn't it be dangerous for like a witch to like leave the school to get some sage just to come back and be like, okay, I got it for the test?
Maybe he's just trying to like practice for the test, so he's able to do it better, like whenever he gets to said test. But then again, he doesn't seem to be the kind of person who would like prepare too much in advance for something, considering he's skipping training because he already knows everything. Maybe this is like his like strengths and weaknesses thing. He's really good at the training and the physical side of things, but when it comes to potions, he might actually be disastrous. That's actually quite a decent contrast within his abilities. Kind of keeps him grounded, if that's the case. Anyway, I can help if you want. I'm not doing anything. Aurora, time for your tour. I'm not doing anything. Let's go get some sage and thyme. I'm sure of myself that I'm really good with herbal things and brewing. And it ultimately plays into his weakness plays into her strength. You know, this actually is like it's a good way for these two to, start to bond. No, really? Then you should do a pop quiz for me so I can pass. So you should do a pop quiz for me so I can pass that test. I thought it was like test her knowledge or something. It's like, I don't trust that you can do this yet. So let me tell you this. What do I get if I add powdered wood asphodel to infusion of wormwood? Where might I find a bezoar? Easy. Then it's a deal.
What about
you have to sign my unique magical signature. You have to sign my yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, all the pens are enchanted, so they know who wrote each test. So the fact that you did it for me is going to get us both in detention. So, well, work out the details.
Oh my god,
later.
imagine detention is like in the Owl House.
Oh. You know what? The Owl House is a perfect example of how to do what I was saying before of like normal sounding words, but given an entirely new concept. Or not entirely. In that case, it wasn't entirely new because the tension monster, but there are some other things in there where you think like we expect one thing to be the case, and then suddenly, yeah, no. Grom particularly, yes.
No, it's not. You just fight a monster. You do get to wear a pretty dress while you fight a monster, but you fight a monster.
And the other students do also get to have like what we would describe as a regular prom. It's only the Grom Queen or King that has to fight, supposedly. Anyway, see ya. Even though he skipped training, he's still productive. Maybe I should continue putting my things away. I just dropped them on the floor. Well, all she did was drop her bag on the floor, so she hasn't really put anything away as of yet. There we go. I'm back, Aurora. Are you ready for the tour? For your tour? He's saying the for your today. I'll be out there right now. And also appreciate the fact that Gacha 2s will like have to cut back and forth. Because there are so few that decide to want to like use multiple backgrounds or splice scenes together as well. Wait. Mom told me to message her with that magical ball. It took me 15 minutes to put my small bag of things away and I forgot to message her. I have no time. I'll just do it later. Yeah, the mum doesn't need to be in this episode. She was already in too much of the last one. This is the Grand Hall. Just like a face there. Here's the main library. Oh, I'm guessing potentially this might be like some sort of like, fountain of knowledge. Like, that's the librarian. Another word you can use in a different concept. The librarian is just like a magical orb that will point you to like the appropriate tomes or summon them for you. Or potentially reflect and show an image of the tome inside. There are some ways around this. This is the courtyard. This is the garden. And there is no one around at all. This is the fairy library. Is it a library about fairies or a library for fairies?
Both, maybe?
Here is the underwater lab. You can tell by the dark blue sky that it's meant to imply we're underwater. This is underwater. Could you not tell from from how you got here? Maybe not, actually. Indeed. The headmistress told me to only show you those places for now, so that Oreo can come up with new things in the future, and it will it will make sense as to why we didn't see them originally. Pretty smart, honestly.
Yeah, but God, this episode's plot is. This episode's plot is so unbelievably boring. How is there a magical school? You're getting introduced to a magical school, and you're not interesting. How? This is so mundane. Like, I don't.
Okay. Okay, so as I mentioned High Guardian Spice earlier because I actually watched a video today about High Guardian Spice and how it's a lot of people's interested in like the first episode of its existence. And that video compared it to Little Witch Academia, which does the exact same thing pretty much as High Guardian Spice, but does everything correctly. I guess in this case I can once again at the sake of tooting my own horn, cite Alpha Witch Academy as a counterexample here, because the first, and I guess for now only, 2 episodes of Alpha Witch Academy are about introducing the school and the students. I guess that's the difference, that we meet more of the students as well. Not everyone yet. I still have more characters introduced, by the way. But like the difference here is that because I knew that alone that would not have like worked. I introduced there's the conflict like going on inside like Erica's mind. The fact we express like her enthusiasm for learning magic. I don't answer all the questions immediately. I leave some of the stuff, so people will come back hopefully whenever I decide to revive that series again, and we'll be able to acquire those answers and focus a lot on like the actual like personality and humor from Alpha Witch Academy 2. So that's, and also show, a couple examples of magic here and there, your simple stuff. That's the difference, I think. When it starts to feel like, this place is being lived in rather than like, introduced to us piece by piece before all of the chess pieces start to be, put into motion. Do it while they are in motion, and then it feels like, we're living through it. And I guess also, again, Erica audience surrogates, same thing.
But like, I just hate how like
that's the thing. What the difference is, because people who watched Alpha Witch Academy. Okay, we're back. Bro. Don't know what that was about, but we'll.
Hey, you back? Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, internet thing happened again. All right, let's continue though.
Yeah, this episode's boring though.
There's still more that you will be seeing soon. Will be now.
Is it more interesting than this? Because I hope so.
Yeah, I can actually like, the classroom makes sense. You wouldn't introduce to those because that's, that interrupts lessons and such. But, other stuff too. If there was.
I mean, maybe if we met a teacher, maybe like one of the teachers is, not having a class at the moment. Maybe, that'd be kind of nice, as long as they're not named teacher and have the personality of a piece of wood.
Locations feeling lived in is so underrated when it comes to gacha shows. Yep, that is true. Ghosty's the fan of environmental storytelling. I'm in awe, which is a thing that people say, and how they say it. This academy is way more bigger than my last one. Add that to the grammar list there. Oh? May I ask, what was your last academy? Considering there are only 2 left in the world that we have established. It's, the Ashna Academy. That's right, Ashna. I didn't make that word up immediately right now. Ah, that was one of the academies that burnt down. I know Ashna very well. Oh, thank goodness. Yes. I apologize for bringing that up. It's okay, I'm used to it. How strong of you. Anyways, you'll be starting regular classes next Monday. I guess she has a bit of free time to explore at her own leisure, or to help Percival collect some sage. Alright. That gives a bit of more time in a future episode to cover some more ground, I suppose.
Just saying, if the main character isn't going to get involved with the plot themselves, can the plot at least hit them in the face for me? Like, that's all I ask. It's either if you're not going to have the main character be proactive with getting involved with the plot, at least have the plot just hit them in the face and force them involved. Because right now, the plot ain't hitting her, and she ain't going for the plot. It's annoying.
Yeah, see, the thing they're missing here is the fact that, if she's got, like, free time now, it gives a chance, like, in next episode, for example, for her to discover a location on her own. Or the remaining part of this episode, in theory, if we're going to, like, I guess, like, the gardens where all the sage and time or this stuff. So, like, as soon as she starts, like, actually having stuff, happen because she, incites it, then it becomes more interesting as a story. Again, the High Guardian Spice video I watched today also goes into that concept of how, things just happen, and there's chances for several bit of conflict or very few character moments where, like, either Rosemary or Sage incite and there's something, a change that affects anything that wouldn't get cut, and there are very few examples. There are 3 examples, I think, in the first episode or something. Whereas Little Witch Academia was the counter example in that video, was all about establishing the motivation first, having the characters do things in character, and everything in the plot happens because a character willed it to be, and there's the difference. Anyway, the attendance office will send you a message of your new schedule.
Like magically, or just like gonna hand me a piece of paper, because like that's kind of boring.
Again, before we find out, there is a chance for either one of them, and I will
but
continue to hammer down that point, even though it's repeatedly. Well, I guess she has a message like crystal ball or something, so that at least like has a precedent. But then again, I guess they don't have her specific what would it be, like the runic inscription or something to use?
I mean,
that should be how like someone like get someone's number. Can I get your like runic inscription, please? Like, wow, no one's asked me that. It's like the Evantress scene. Can I get your walkie-talkie runes? Well, no one's asked me for that before. Again, there's potential with these ideas. Just unfortunately.
Yeah, but so far they haven't unfortunately took anything interesting avenues.
Yeah.
I mean, the only real magic we've technically seen is, I guess, some of the background shows have like magic elements in the background, but the only magic that characters have actively done this whole episode was like her summoning
to prove that they were a witch.
Yeah, like. I mean,
it's almost like the show itself is proving that characters can do magic to us, the audience.
Yeah, it's like, we can do magic, see? It's like, okay, can you do it more often? No. It's like, why not? It's like, well, I don't know. I mean, teleportation would have been an easy way. Like, have the assistant teleport her around. Bam. A good use of magic during the tour.
Yeah, Fallen Angels, that covers that, but particularly, yeah.
Or maybe she uses uses magic to cast an illusion around her of what each place looks like. I don't know. You could maybe do something cool with that, with like the background changing to like a magical illusion spell that she's showing her what each place is like.
Which is another crossover with sci-fi that you have, because sci-fi has holodecks, and that's again another way to potentially combine those genres, going back to our discussion before. But yeah, that would be a possibility, but then that would kind of like negate the idea of the tour itself, almost.
Yeah.
I guess ultimately what would be good like for like an illusion thing actually is if like each class itself was able to do that, to suit whichever lesson was being taught in it. Which that's the thing that happens in Witch, fittingly enough. Yeah, I will say, the French do organic background characters the best. The Italians do magic shows the best, I think. that's my like rankings of. There you go. Anyway, so feel free to roam around the campus anytime. Any questions? Am I required to wear a uniform? Because everyone's mentioned that to me so far, so I'm thinking yes.
Oh, this is the perfect opportunity. Have her like magically transform into the uniform. Bam.
Yeah, which I will say again is something that I did in Alpha Witch Academy.
Okay, yeah, but you're smart. Okay, I don't know if the creator who made this video is smart. God.
No, I just mean because like there's like, because this show is gonna get compared to Alpha Academy is going to get compared to this show regardless of what I do, so like, by this crowd particularly, so that's why I'm reinforcing.
Also, we're like over halfway through this episode, and here's the thing. You know what I brought up in the previous episode? Pacing. If there's 10 episodes of this show in total, and the first episode is all about her getting to the school, this whole episode should be exploring the school more thoroughly and actually getting a proper touch to school. We're barely explored the school as is. We met like a character who is probably going to be important, like the potentially a love interest or whatever. We met him, and the principal probably isn't going to be important to the plot. She's probably just going to be, hi, I'm the principal. I will show up periodically, but do nothing for the plot. And that's about all we have accomplished besides showing some magical backgrounds. Be like, oh, this is what the school looks like. Okay, cool. And, like, what is the school like?
Are good, but yeah, like, that doesn't... You know, like, if anything, you know, because the backgrounds themselves are empty, they feel the school still feels empty, which I guess is part of like the fact there's so few people around. So that might be intentional, but probably not in this case.
Like it just kind of sucks because again, pacing from a story standpoint, like come on, where's more of the cast? What's like a lesson like? Are we gonna get to our first lesson next episode? Are we even gonna have magic lessons?
Like, it seems that if she's given time to roam around, we might have potentially maybe one episode or half an episode of her free time, and then Monday will come, and then she'll start going to lessons properly.
I mean, this episode I would have probably had her at least do a lesson just to kind of see what part of a normal format would be like for a lesson.
Dare I say it again? Dare I mention it again? Yeah, okay, fine, I'll do it. Yes, so I know that Erica jumps the gun and like requests to go into a lesson before she's technically supposed to, because she's meant to like join the afternoon classes after her assembly introduction. But again, that was part of just show her enthusiasm towards like learning magic. She wants to be there for the most time possible. And also, so I could show yet another example of magical spell, because I only had like the teleportation in the episode. It was kind of boring otherwise. So, there you go. Same idea. Ghosty says, I enjoy a slower start. It gives everything time to breathe. This is the pace of a dying turtle crawling across the road. Slow start? Nah. Slower start. You know what they say, slow and steady gets you run over. Yeah, but only during class hours. Your uniform will be given to you by one of the maids soon. Oh, interesting. Alright.
Wait, question though, are the maids magic? Are the maids witches? Are they humans?
Depends. Well, I mean, I would think that they would be they'd be witches. Maybe, to be honest, like they've got assistants, they've got maids, they don't need most of this stuff. I wonder if that's because witches have so few chances of like employment with their skills that they have learnt because they're being pursued, that the school is actively hiring more staff than it needs just to give people like a job of some kind.
You know, here's a potential idea that what they could have did. What if instead of having maids, they had familiars do it? Like the witches had a bunch of familiars, and like the familiars of the school would be like working. That'd be kind of cool.
That is true. I mean, well, yeah, that depends, because sometimes, depending on like the centers who give the familiars as well, because most of the time familiars just end up being, you know, like constant companions, sort of, again, like in The Worst Witch, actually. That's you know, they pick their cats on the first day, and they're frequently, you know, seen to accompany them. And depending on like, and if you're the main character, they become a hindrance at first. There's also that. Well, I'll see you around, Aurora, as I must go back to my duties.
Doing what?
Assisting.
Assisting who? What do you have to do right now?
The maids. I assist the maids now. But that is like a viable thing. Like when we were in Spain, we actually like hired a maid or two, not because we needed to, but because, you know, that was around the time that unemployment in Spain was just dreadful. So, you know, I think it was my mum's idea. Let's do this. Mum? Aurora?
You became a floating ball somehow.
Yeah, wrong it's, but yeah. Okay, so the foster mom does appear in the second episode. Oh, thank the gods. I was worried sick. Well, I'm here now. So, are you at the academy right now?
I'm here now. What do you think that means?
I think something like, I'm here as in like I'm talking to you, but it is clumsily worded, but I think I know what the intention was. Oh, no. Yep, it's really amazing here. I do like the fact that we get like a back and forth and sometimes it cuts from one the conversation to another. I, of course, at this if I saw this back in the day, I would have definitely said, I prefer one of my favorite editing techniques, the split screen. But it's not necessary. This is also a cool way to do it. I'm glad to hear that from you.
Oh, imagine the guards just burst in and be like, "Are you talking to a ball? Arrest her! She's a witch!"
Yeah. Has everything gone smoothly? I wonder if she can actually, initiate messages because she's not a witch, or whether or not the balls have, magic of their own, and so they bypass the need for a witch to use them. I don't know. So far, so good. That's good. Again, but what? Oh, Mom, can I ask you something?
Can you ask you something? ...
Do you know a principal who apparently, taught, my brother, the one who was dead?
Oh my gosh, sure. I was gonna ask about her dad, the dead son. Do you
know the headmistress? Hey! Why did you ask? I was talking to her today, and she told me about your son and how she knows you. I'm curious, do you guys know each other? Yes, I do know her. She helped my family go through so many struggles, but...
Oh, okay. She helped you go through... She helped you struggle? I helped... She caused so many issues for me. She wanted me to struggle. She helped me go through so much pain. She helped the pain happen. It was great. She was so harmful. She was toxic. Oh
no! Again, the intention is clear, but my goodness.
No, she helped me go through the struggles. She wanted me to struggle. Oh no!
Alright. In the canon of Monster Companion, magic familiars are created through a ritual with the purpose of making spells stronger. That kind of seems like the like the rings in Middle Earth that are created through the means that are there, but actively enhance the magic that was supposedly there and used to make them in the first place. Anyway, they can also do tasks. All right then, the rings can't do that.
They become maids. So. They become maids. Yay! Can we get Kami as a maid? Kami and maid outfit. Kami draws a maid outfit on herself, being like, "I'm a maid now."
It's like that. The what was the game that Aphmau played back? They Doodle Date, the one that Sketchy was from. Yeah, that was. Draw a maid outfit for Sketchy or something. Yeah. She did? Wow, but how about your son? Whenever I asked about him to you and the headmistress, you guys would just tell me some other day.
No, she told you he died with her husband. He died. He got murdered.
A very long story to explain. We need a full episode dedicated to that, but you gotta set up the academy first. Priority the storytelling.
We need flashback.
Come on, just summarize it for me at least, please. Well, to be continued. Aurora, please. I don't want you to think about it all the time.
Wait, all the time? Like you already don't think about it all the time?
No, as in it's just gonna haunt your mind. As in I guess what happened to him could happen to her, and that might incite a fear in her mind. Then again, that is some internal conflict for this character. That would be nice from a story perspective, but I can see why the mum's hesitant. What are you saying? I got to go. The guards are here again.
Oh my god. My joke about you getting caught would be funny.
Again, you hear a single glass shatter a in the floor or something. Mom, what's going on? I'll talk to you later. I love you, Aurora. The number you have called is currently unavailable. Wait. What does it mean it's going to haunt my mind?
That episode was crap! Ah! God!
It has gotten worse.
So much time wasting. There was... so much time was wasted. There was very little substance. We met barely any characters that were actually probably going to reoccur or be actually meaningful characters. Honestly, if you combine this episode with episode 1, it wouldn't be as bad. Granted, it wouldn't help the slow school segments.
Yeah, if you combine this with episode 1, you would have had people clicking off the video before they finished it. They wouldn't get to the end.
But at least then you could say slightly more happened, in episode 1.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of curious actually, because normally when you have pacing issues in a story, it tends to boil down to if you remove these things, nothing would change. But actually, a lot of this boils down to what would be like essential scenes of some kind, or potentially stuff that's like not essential but is complementary, but it just does it in the most bland way possible. So ultimately, the execution of these scenes and like how that could have been improved dramatically. But
here's the thing:
the fact that it all exists is not used to its detriment. But like stuff that you mentioned before, like the fact that how even though you might not see the characters again, the background ones, they don't have much personality to them. That could have like helped things through. But we could have like seen some people like just in the courtyard or something. Should have interacted with a couple of other people with ultimately it comes down to the people most of the time. Apart from the principal. The principal was
like
right,
I feel like this episode is mostly dialogue, but without any like interesting dialogue, and the fact that it's all just text like that. Okay, so I will say advantage of a voice acted series is at least the way voice actors read a line could make a more basic, bland line interesting.
It can also make a very interesting line basic and bland depending on the voice actor, but
but a voice actor can potentially help out a line. In this case, since there's no voice acting, we just have personality-less text that kind of just feel. I mean, like, you could have a bland line every once in a while, but the fact that none of these characters have personality, barely any of these characters have personalities or motivations or something. Like, for example, the main character's goal, I do wonder what the main character's goal is. Because, like, so she went to the Witch Academy to, I guess, be safe, I guess. But, like, is her goal to be a good witch? Like, what's her life? Like, I feel like one thing that could be helped is the main character had more of a motivation. Like, going to Alpha Witch Academy, again, take a shot every time we mention Alpha Witch Academy. Erica has been established that she wanted to be a really good witch, and that's something she really cares about. But at least for this main protagonist here, she doesn't really seem to, care, at least be motivated in any way, which is kind of like bland. And so it's like the love interest guy. Like the love interest guy doesn't even have any real motivations associated with him besides trust. That's all we really got from him.
There is.
I guess he studies.
We did also get. Yeah, we got his like proficiency in training exercises and his struggling with the brewing side of things, which is the part that Aurora excels at. So there is like not only that like personality for him, but also a way for them to actually bond and get over their very quick rivalry. I'm glad that got buried very quickly, but it kind of like ultimately undermines the fact that it existed even to begin with. So it just kind of like, oh well, it was there one episode and gone the next. To be fair, Aang and Sokka have the same issue in Avatar, but you ultimately like, well, whatever.
Yeah. But like there's genuinely potential here, but it's just the way this episode is executed kind of fails. Like we didn't even see any other witches besides like that single guy, and I guess the principal technically. Like we barely got to see any proper witches, and no one else did magic besides Aurora in that one scene or two scenes technically. But it's like, again, you're witches. Like, isn't the whole point? That's like Alana in season 2 not doing magic for like, like I don't know, like say in episode like 7 and 8 of season 2, Alana, there's no sign of magic from Alana at all during either, any. Maybe was there magic? I don't think there was. I don't know if there was actually. She'd probably cast a spell.
Yeah, whenever I am writing Alpha Witch Academy, the rare occasion I actually go back to that show, I'm actively like thinking in my head like, is there a way that this scene would be done differently by somebody who knows how to do magic? Like, if you want, like, usher someone off stage or push them away, would you do it normally? Just,
someone
like, push them
carrying books
aside?
down the
No, you
hall.
would lift them up and, like, yeet them to the side with telekinesis.
Someone carrying books down a hall. Instead of carrying a bunch of heavy books, you're levitating heavy books behind you.
Honestly, I might actually do that one. That's a good idea. I haven't done that one yet, but that's good. But yeah, that's a possibility. Also, I guess comparing the principles as well, the 3 principles of Malshida, they come down from like on assembly. They come down from like floating from the sky. It's like, well, not the sky, from the ceiling.
I mean, I'm not even saying you do like, I'm not even saying like the series itself needs to like have magic happen in 24/7. Like, not every single action or every single moment has to have magic in it, but you can't forget that magic is a major component of the show itself. You can't treat it like it's mundane or normal. You should
and to be clear about the Afrofuture Academy thing I said before, about like finding asking the question of will this be done differently with somebody with magic? Sometimes the answer is no. Like a regular conversation doesn't have to be magical by nature, but so there's an example there. Walking from place to place. Sometimes the characters who use like a disc for some reason, but that's only one of them. Most of them will just walk regularly, and exercise their legs as humans need to do.
As long as there's a reminder on occasion that, oh yeah, magic is very much relevant, it works. But I don't know. I mean, this episode was very boring, and like there wasn't much going on, which I kind of hate that, because like I do wonder if the rest of the show is going to have this problem where episode 3, like there's not going to be much going on. Like, for example, is teacher going to be named teacher, and he's going to say the most bland stuff to teach a class? Be like, hello, students. Now remember, we're doing potions today. So get your potion stuff and get in your groups of 2 and do your potions. Oh, hi, boy with name. Yeah, we're only 2 with the name. Everyone else named student, but we have names, so we're relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With potions, if it weren't for the fact that brewing's gonna be like a major thing for the 2 main characters, I would say that's probably one of the ones that you would think to skip some of the time, because of the fact that it's so technical. But some of the other magic stuff, it really depends, because magical lessons are one of the only types of lessons that are interesting to watch for the full extension in fiction. If it's like a regular lesson, you want to either like cut between that sometimes, or just to show like some essential parts, or have like an interactive lesson instead, as opposed to not cutting from one part lesson to the end, because that always annoys me. But have a balance there, so you show they are learning something, especially if it applies later on in the episode. That's an extra bonus right there. Like Mrs. Dysart, for example, the parts like outside of the actual myth that's being taught in that episode are just as important, because they also help inform what the myth is supposed to teach the characters as well.
Yeah.
I had one other like fictional example I was going to explain, but I forgot what it was, so we've already compared it to a bunch of different things. So ultimately, yeah, it's we'll let it be for now. Oh wait, no, I remember what it was now. Another example of like how to of how to improve on like background characters, and even if they don't show up again, SAO abridged. Because that's one of the things that apparently in normal SAO, a lot of the characters that will show up for one episode, they don't really like appear again. Like Godfrey, for example. If anyone remembers who Godfrey was, he's just there for one day. He dies in that same episode. Because it's all about like whole betrayal of Corridor or whatever, and then that's it. Whereas in SAO abridged, he shows up and he is a role player, and he is trying his best and is butchering, sounding like Shakespeare at every conceivable turn. Has like overwhelming positivity immediately to counteract the downtrodden nature of Kirito being forced to join a guild, and Afterwards, when he like finally panics as soon as he's about to die, he drops the facade. All of that immediately way more interesting, even if we don't ever see him again. And I remember a lot of the quotes that he actually had as a result of that. Especially, got it, not a fan of the bard, he is gone. You and me are on the same page here, okay, buddy? Like, yeah. Goes a long way. Ultimately, what we're saying in this, to summarize every point we've made so far, the stuff in here sounds good on paper, but could have been done far better, almost consistently. So there we go.
Yes. Also, Ghosty, before we go, Ghosty, you want to do a Code Lyoko night?
Yeah, speaking of French shows, I guess.
The French. Oui, bonjour.
Celebrate everywhere for their animation. And the background characters. Justin in Monster Compendium is chaotic with his spells. I mean, that's another way to remind people of that. The fact that if there's a character who uses magic in character frivolously all the time, then yeah, no one's gonna forget that for sure. Then again, if monsters are around magic, it's not too surprising for people, so there's potential there. Anyways, if you want to do Code Lyoko Night, then I will send you the link to this StreamYard in the description, and not to restream.
In the description, you're gonna send in the description. Hey guys,
in her
check
DMs.
the description. Click the description to join StreamYard.
I will send it in DMs. As for people in the description, yeah, I'm not gonna say check out that unless you want to read what I summarized this to be yesterday. I forgot what it said. But while you're down there, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And
until next time, caca, drugs,
Farewell.